Paul and Joshua happening in December? Anything, any prediction on how it will go? Yeah, if it's not handicapped, Anthony Joshua will knock him out.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
I respect them both. It's not a fight I even thought of. It's nothing to do with me to start with. It come out of the blue, but it's intriguing. And I think from Jake's perspective, he's had a lot of criticism about he is a pro boxer now. The way you want to look at it, he trains as a pro, but, and he's fighting as a pro.
Rules, 10-ounce gloves. So they're the little ones that I knock people out with. And when AJ's got them on, trust me, you can feel them knuckles through the gloves. Big heavyweight with the same size gloves as what I had on. So it's not 14 or 16 ounces what you spar in.
Shannon Sharpe called out Jake Paul on live TV for trying to fight Anthony Joshua. The whole moment felt crazy, like something people will talk about for years. Jake Paul has taken a strange path from being a YouTuber to becoming a big boxing name. The idea of him fighting Anthony Joshua is already huge news. Some people think it's smart, while others think it's a joke. Everyone is talking about the fight, the Netflix hype, and the rush for tickets. All of this makes the situation feel even more explosive. And then there's Shannon. He's a Hall of Famer and a respected voice in sports. He didn't earn that by accident. He has strong opinions and he stands by them. So when he feels someone is disrespecting the sport, he doesn't stay quiet, he speaks up. That energy is what drives this whole moment.
I think Anthony Joshua won the gold medal. Didn't he win the gold medal for the super heavyweights in the Olympics?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know Anthony Joshua's history, but I'm thinking about ring experience. That's pretty much it. And I commend Jake Paul for what he's done. I commend him for the work he's put in and how serious he's taken the sport, from going from a YouTuber and actually taking it seriously and dedicating his life to boxing and entertaining, in his own lane and creating a lane for himself in the sport. So you can't handicap a fight like this too, huh?
He won the gold medal, Ocho, in the 2012 Olympics in London.
Yeah.
And the super heavyweight, same one Klitschko, the same one Lewis. Yes.
How does a live confrontation like this even ignite? A moment like this starts fast. First, Jake Paul does what he always does. He talks trash, he promotes his fights, and he sets the internet on fire. Sometimes he goes too far, on purpose or by accident. He calls out big names, brags about his wins, and acts like he's the top star in boxing. His fans love it, but traditional boxing fans get annoyed. Then Shannon Sharpe steps in and everything gets quiet. His reaction wasn't random. It had layers. First layer, he wants to protect boxing. Boxing is not just entertainment, it's hard work, history, and real danger. Fighters like Anthony Joshua spent years training and bleeding for their careers. So when a loud social media star jumps into big fights quickly, some people feel the sport is being disrespected. Shannon speaks with a protective, almost fatherly voice when it comes to sports he loves, so people listen. Second layer, he believes in calling people out. Shannon doesn't let loud talk go unchecked. If Jake says something rude or something that seems to ignore how dangerous boxing is, Shannon will speak up, and he did. Picture him raising his voice, asking sharp questions, and then saying the line everyone remembers, "This is Bulls **T. Even casual viewers lean in when something like that happens. Feels like pure honesty. After that, the internet explodes. Fans argue. Some say Shannon is right for defending boxing. Others say he's old school and needs to adapt. Jake's fans argue that he brings new eyes, money, and hype to the sport. This clash, tradition versus modern entertainment, happens with almost every big fight now. You don't have to pick a side to feel the excitement. What this moment shows is clear. Boxing is at a crossroads. Real fighters, celebrity fighters, streaming platforms, and viral moments are all crashing into each other. One live argument like this becomes a symbol for the whole debate. Did boxing win because more people are watching? Or did boxing lose something because it became more about clicks than craft? Fans will argue about this until fight night. But one thing is certain. Moments like this get everyone talking. They push big fights even further into the spotlight. Whether you think Shannon was right or Jake was right, the chaos reminds everyone that boxing is still alive, wild, emotional, and full of sparks. Rumors about the fight floated around on social media for days before the official announcement. Many people didn't believe Jake Paul would actually fight a former two-time heavyweight world champion. But then the news became real. Jake Paul will face Anthony Joshua in Miami, Florida, on December 19th. Last week, Logan Paul ran into UFC Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier while both were recording podcasts in the same building. Logan used the chance to ask Cormier about the Jake vs. Joshua fight. When Logan confirmed the Netflix rumors were true, Cormier went through every emotion at once. Logan told him the news was real and Cormier said, "There has got to be some rules for Anthony Joshua. People keep messing up, especially MMA guys. Stop acting like Jake isn't a boxer. He's been boxing for 5 years with great coaches. He's improved a lot. He can fight." Logan then asked, "Yeah, but what about Anthony Joshua?" Cormier responded, "That's bad, bro," making everyone laugh. Anthony Joshua hasn't fought since he was knocked out by Daniel Dubois in September 2024. But the 36-year-old says he will return stronger and shock the world when he fights Jake Paul. After the match was confirmed, Joshua said he would break the internet by defeating Jake. He added, "Jake or anyone can get this work. No mercy." He said he took time off and now wants to come back with a huge show. He wants big fights, big numbers, and big moments. He said other fighters will also start taking these big opportunity fights. "I'm about to break the internet over Jake Paul's face," he said. Meanwhile, Tyson Fury's prediction about the fight came out online. Fury told the Ring magazine, "I think Jake Paul knocks him out. AJ is a spent force and Jake Paul is rising." Fury said he likes Jake's new heavyweight look because he's bulkier now. Jake, 28, mostly fought at cruiserweight but moved to heavyweight last year, beating 58-year-old Mike Tyson by points. Now he's set to face Joshua on December 19th in Miami. The fight will be 8 rounds with 10-ounce gloves. Joshua can't weigh more than 245 pounds the day before the fight. AJ is still linked to a future fight with Tyson Fury, although Fury's boxing future is uncertain. Fury retired again after losing twice to Alexander Usyk, but he has retired and unretired many times. Jake Paul was supposed to fight unbeaten champion Gervonta Davis on November 14th, but the fight was cancelled due to an investigation involving Davis. Jake's team then listed fighters willing to face him, including AJ, and said Tommy Fury turned down the chance. Tommy said Jake offered him the fight in America even though he can't travel there. Tommy said, "Offer me the same $15 million anywhere else, and I'll be there in 8 weeks to shut you up again." Tommy Fury, who beat Jake in 2023, is still the only person to defeat him. At the same time, British boxing legend Carl Froch harshly judged Anthony Joshua's career, saying AJ's prime is over, even if he beats Jake Paul. Froch said on YouTube that AJ's legacy might not be as strong as people think. He said AJ helped bring boxing back to big stadium crowds, but Froch noted that he and George Groves broke records first. Froch said AJ had big fights and strong fan support, especially after he beat Vladimir Klitschko, but once AJ faced top-level fighters he struggled. Froch pointed out AJ's losses to Andy Ruiz, Alexander Usyk twice, and the knockout by Daniel Dubois. In Froch's view, AJ is now just taking big money opportunities in what he called a clown world, with both AJ and Jake set to make millions from this fight. He doubts AJ has truly secured a place in boxing history before retiring.
What else have we got to consider? Is AJ cashing out? Well, I did say a year ago when he got splattered by Daniel Dubois that he's finished now. He won't get that confidence back. He's not had any confidence, in his head. No belief for a long time. And I don't think he can get back to world level. There's a couple of new young guns now coming up and coming through. It's like a changing of the guard. And when Usyk retires, I don't know what Daniel Dubois is going to do next, but what Daniel Dubois did to him, then he went on and lost to Usyk. But there's a few new heavyweights coming through, Moses Atalma, just to mention one. And you wouldn't start putting AJ in with any of these young up-and-comers that can punch hard, because I just don't think he's got the chance, because the ambition and the desire is going to be gone. So AJ most definitely is cashing out, and you can't fault him. Fair play to him. He's going to get a massive payday, maximise his exit route by fighting fake Paul.
Froch said AJ's legacy comes from bringing boxing back to regular people and getting casual fans to watch again. He said many people watched AJ not because they loved boxing, but because they wanted to be part of the big event, which helped the sport grow. But Froch also said that even with all that, AJ still didn't have a Hall of Fame career. To earn that, he explained, a fighter needs many world title defenses and wins against top-level opponents. He said this wasn't an insult, just the truth. Froch admitted that fighting Jake Paul hurts AJ's legacy a little because it feels like a clown world fight, but he also understood AJ is taking it for big money, even if it damages how people see him. Even though there's a huge difference in skill and experience, David Benavidez still praised Jake Paul for accepting such a tough fight. Most people think Joshua will beat him easily. Benavidez said he respects Jake Paul 100%, but believes it's a dangerous fight and Jake will probably get knocked out, not because he dislikes him, but because Joshua is a powerful former champion and Olympic gold medalist. He said the last time Joshua fought someone with very little boxing skill, the guy got knocked out fast. Still, he gave Jake respect and said the event will be huge and exciting. On the other hand, Lawrence Oakley has offered to help train Jake Paul before the fight with Joshua in December. Oakley, a former cruiserweight champion who has sparred many times with AJ, said he wants to go to Puerto Rico to help Paul prepare. He said he knows he has his own fight coming up, but would still train Jake for a couple of weeks. Oakley said he wants to understand what makes Jake confident enough to fight a big, strong former heavyweight champion in front of millions on Netflix. As a top heavyweight who has sparred with both men, Oakley thinks Jake might give AJ a few surprises in the ring. But he also admitted that the size and skill difference is huge, even if crazy things happen in boxing. When asked if Joshua would knock Paul out in the first round, Oakley said he didn't think so. He said AJ probably won't go for a huge punch right away. But he warned that if Jake manages to land on AJ, things could get interesting. He said when you spar someone below your level, you control how hard you hit and how much effort you use. Since AJ hasn't fought in a while, he might treat this fight more like a tune-up. Oakley said Jake's biggest challenge will be trying to land clean punches without getting pushed around by someone bigger and stronger. He added that maybe Jake's coaches see something the public doesn't. He said they will all find out soon enough. At one point, Oakley even said he could never fight Joshua because his mother wouldn't let him, since AJ helped his career so much. But now he laughs and says she would allow it today. He said it would be the ultimate Nigerian matchup. Johnny Nelson said it seems like AJ has put himself in a no-win situation. He told Sky Sports that there are 50 million reasons why AJ took the fight. Nelson said he never thought it would happen because AJ always talked about becoming a 3-time world champion. Now it looks like he is choosing business over legacy. Nelson pointed out that AJ has a 245-pound weight limit for this fight. Last time he weighed that low was when he fought Usyk. He said AJ must be in top shape because he weighed 254 pounds in his last fight with Du Bois. Nelson said this is a real fight, not entertainment like McGregor versus Mayweather. He said Jake Paul is brave and it will be interesting to watch. AJ's promoter Eddie Hearn also said this will be a serious fight with real 10-ounce gloves. Nelson explained that AJ won't get much credit either way. If Jake lasts all the rounds, people will question AJ. If AJ knocks him out, people will say that's what he was supposed to do. Nelson said Jake Paul now has everyone's attention, and he must prove his words. He explained that boxing isn't a game, you can't play boxing. He said most people watching want to see Jake finally get humbled and hope the best version of AJ shows up. If that version appears, it will be an easy night for traditional boxing fans. But if AJ struggles, Nelson said AJ may need to ask himself if he has become more of a businessman than a real boxer. Joshua hasn't fought since losing by knockout to Du Bois last September. Nelson wonders if AJ can ever return to his old championship form. He said Joshua's chances of becoming world champion again are getting smaller. Aside from Jake Paul, the biggest fight for AJ would be Tyson Fury, who makes huge headlines even without fighting for titles. Nelson said both Jake and AJ are taking advantage of the current state of boxing. He added that after getting knocked out by Du Bois, many expected AJ to return quickly to prove himself. But he didn't, which makes Nelson think AJ may feel his best days are behind him. Nelson said fans will criticize AJ for fighting Jake Paul, but the fight could make over 50 million, so most people wouldn't turn that down. If AJ wins quickly, he can move on. Nelson said AJ should take the money and keep going. Meanwhile, promoter Frank Warren says AJ's fight with Jake Paul looks like a car crash waiting to happen. He told ESPN that Paul is a massive underdog and most people think the result is already obvious. Still, he said fans will watch it anyway because it will bring huge attention. Warren also said AJ chose a safe money fight but that he would rather see AJ face Moses Itama instead.
I respect them both. It's not a fight I even thought of. It's nothing to do with me to start with. It come out of the blue, but it's intriguing. And I think from Jake's perspective, he's had a lot of criticism about he is a pro boxer now. The way you want to look at it, he trains as a pro, but and he's fighting as a pro. They said it's about time he fought some. I've seen some of the stuff, that's been said. When's he going to fight someone? Well, he's gone from one extreme to the other. That's what he's doing. So if that fight happens, you've got to take your hat off to him.
He got called out by Andre Ward, AJ. Would you rather see Jake fight AJ, which is obviously, as we know, a mismatch, or Andre Ward, who's been retired for, 4 years?
I'd much rather see AJ fight Tyson.
Oh, please. I dread to think how many times
we don't know if
you've
that's
done
going to
this.
happen because the big man, he's filming, he's not made his mind up what he's going to do, and he certainly won't fight this year.
It is believed that Joshua will still fight Fury next year, even if he fights Jake Paul first. Eddie Hearn, Joshua's promoter, said they are trying to make the Fury fight happen. Turki Alalshik from Saudi Arabia is expected to help make the deal. Alalshik said Joshua will fight in February and hopes to face Fury in 2026. Hearn said their side of the deal is almost done, but Warren explained that Fury gets the final say. Warren said Tyson will choose what he wants, and it mostly depends on if he wants to do it and how much money he wants. Talks are still going on. If the offer is good enough, Tyson will accept. Ariel Helwani also shared his thoughts. He said a fight between Paul and Joshua does not ruin Joshua's legacy, because even legends like Muhammad Ali and George Foreman took part in fun, unusual fights. But Helwani said he is very worried about Jake Paul's safety. He reminded people of how Francis Ngannou was knocked out and stayed on the ground for a long time. He said the real question is whether fighting Joshua puts Jake Paul in serious danger. He said that knockout was scary and hard to forget. Meanwhile, Jake Paul has loudly claimed he will beat Anthony Joshua. Even though many boxing fans are criticizing him, Jake still believes he can win against the two-time heavyweight champion. The fight has caused arguments because Joshua is a proven boxer with a huge size advantage. On his YouTube channel, Jake promised he would knock out, defeat, and embarrass Joshua on December 19th live on Netflix. Joshua, who has not fought since his knockout loss to Daniel Dubois in 2024, sees this fight as warm-up before his February return. As the fight gets closer, more people are sharing their opinions. Rising heavyweight Moses Itama questioned why Jake even took the fight. He said Jake should fire the people advising him because the matchup is dangerous. He added that yes, fights make money, but this one still seems wild. He said he likes Jake Paul and thinks he helps the sport, including women's boxing, but he still feels the choice is risky. Still, Jake Paul is determined to prove everyone wrong. He said, "This isn't an AI simulation. This is Judgment Day." He added that beating an elite champion like Anthony Joshua would erase all doubt and finally give him a chance to fight for a world title. Jake said to the haters, "This is what you wanted." So that's all for today's video. Stay tuned and we'll see you next time.